Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey guys, PD here from ZigWheels, and we are here at the first ride of the three new Hero motorcycles. That's the Super Splendor, the Passion Pro, and the Passion X-Pro. And here's a quick look at these new motorcycles. Okay, the first one here, that is the Super Splendor. Basically, it's using the engine from the 125cc engine that we saw on the new Glamour, and it is pretty much taken as is on the Super Splendor here. And as you can see, the styling has changed quite a lot compared to the old bike. This one gets drum brakes only. Okay, it's a 125cc engine. Hero hasn't shared the specs with us as of yet, but it I think roughly makes the same amount of power and torque as the new Glamour. Of course, this engine is carbureted, it's not fuel injected, so roughly the same as the carb version of the new Glamour. And okay, as you see, this bike has only drum brakes. Now all three bikes, including this one, gets Hero's i3S, that is their idle start stop system, basically which kills the ignition once the bike is in neutral and the clutch is off. It will restart the ignition once you pull the clutch back in. Anyway, so Super Splendor here has a new tail light design. The tank design is carried over as is, but it gets new graphics. They look quite neat. There's a new instrument cluster here. Got a big speedometer here, a fuel gauge, some telltale lights, and switch gear also is carried over from the current crop of Hero motorcycles. Now, we did spend some time riding this bike. It's actually quite a nice motorcycle to ride. Only real complaint, no disc brakes. The drum brakes do take a lot of effort to engage, but apart from that, it rides really well. It has a slight firmness to the suspension, and I think that's a good thing. It doesn't feel as squishy as Splendors of old. And one thing that we really appreciate on this bike is the new seat. It's a lot stiffer, and it just makes it that much more comfortable compared to, say, the older Super Splendor. And then of course you have the two new Passions, the Passion Pro and the Passion X-Pro. These are 110cc motorcycles. This engine again is the one that Hero has used on the Splendor iSmart, the iSmart 110. And there's a quick look at the engine. Again, no change in spec, the same specs as the iSmart 110. And again, as I said, all three bikes get Hero's i3S, that's the idle start stop system. Basically, it helps you save fuel. When you come to a stop, it will automatically kill the engine once the bike is in neutral and restart the engine once you pull in the clutch. Now, these bikes do get disc brakes as an option. And okay, differences between the Passion Pro and the Passion X Pro. Okay, as you can see, the tank is a little different. The X Pro here gets these tank cowls, while the normal Passion Pro doesn't. There's a slight difference in seat design for the two bikes as well. Let me get a clearer shot of that. And there's a fairly big difference in the tail panels and the tail lights. This is a fairly average looking tail light that you get on the Passion Pro. The X Pro gets this very nice little X that happens in there. Again, this is LED here. This one is conventional. And okay, let me just get out of the way. Now, yeah, these bikes do get a semi-digital instrument cluster. So you got a big speedometer here, and on this side you've got your fuel gauge, your trip meter, and your odometer, and telltale lights, including a side stand indicator right here. Now, this seat has been set up fairly soft. It's a very squishy seat, as you can see. It's also a lot wider So this bike basically has retained a lot of the old school standard Hero Splendor passion traits, basically designed more for a sort of a semi-urban or a rural market. So even the shifter, as you can see, the shifter is that typical heel and toe unit that you get from the old school Splendors and Passions. Quick logo, the i3S logo. On the other hand, the XPro, well, that just feels a little more youth oriented comparatively. Seat design is different, it's a lot more rounded and it's firmer. Definitely feels a lot nicer on this bike. I think if you're riding a little bit for a longer duration, this will be definitely a better option. And otherwise, the motors are absolutely the same. Sorry, connection issue. Now we are back. And again, brand new instrument cluster. Again, no tacho or anything, just a big speedometer and a digital fuel gauge and trip meter, and you can cycle through the trip and the odometer right here, and telltale lights around. Same switch gear, no change in that. But in that sense, the XPro definitely feels a lot more premium compared to the regular Passion Pro. Now at this stage, Hero hasn't announced prices. We're expecting them to come out sometime in the month of January next year, 2018. We spent a little time riding these bikes around here in Delhi, in the NCR region, at Surajganj, and in a short ride, well, the Super Splendor, as I said, rides really well. It's a bit on the firm side suspension, and that actually feels quite good to ride on even bad roads. It doesn't feel squishy like the old bike. The Passion Pro, on the other hand, well, that one is a lot softer in that sense. It rides softer, the seat is softer. It definitely feels a lot more like the old Passion. Again, the XPro, everything's firmed up. It has that little firmness in the seat, in the suspension. It definitely feels a lot closer to the Super Splendor in that sense, and it's a very nice bike to ride out of the three. I think of the three, this one is probably my favorite, the new XPro. Disc brakes, again, basic unit. The XPro, the brakes definitely feel a lot sharper, and I think it's a question of just the way they are being tuned. The ones on the normal Passion Pro, they feel a little soft and squishy. Again, they're designed for a very different sort of market, so that sort of really shows through. And okay, I'm getting a message that we are not going full screen. I think there's an issue with rotation. Hang on, let me just try and address that. Okay, I don't know if this is working. Okay, so a question that whether this whether the chassis is shared with the Glamour. Yes, the chassis on the Super Splendor is shared with the Glamour. It's a single down tube, but it's a cradle at the bottom, while the chassis from the Passion Pro and the XPro, well, that's from the Splendor 110 iSmart. So that's a more conventional dual cradle setup, as you can see. Okay, one sec. Let me just pull this back. Zarema relaunch? Not yet. Hero has been saying that 2017 has been their year for their commuter motorcycles. They're going to get their more enthusiast motorcycles sometime next year. So that's something we're going to look at soon, I hope, at the expo. But anyway, guys, that's a quick take on these motorcycles. We'll definitely get them for a full-blown review back in Pune. Tubeless tires. Okay, one sec. These are all tubeless tires that you get on the Super Splendor, the Passion Pro and the Passion XPro, and all these bikes that we rode have been equipped with TVS tires. Slightly different pattern that you see on all three, just differences in the type of tire. But anyway, guys, do check out our full review on ZigWheels.com and on BikeDeco.com, where we'll discuss these bikes a lot more in detail there. And of course, we'll get the bikes in Pune for a full-blown road test and full-blown comparison tests. So please look out for that really soon. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Signing off. I hope you like this small, quick first look at these 3 new bikes from Hero.